For many years, the US dollar held unparalleled dominance as the global currency leader, but significant shifts are currently underway. Countries like China, Russia, India, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and others are undertaking substantial initiatives that will reduce their reliance on the dollar in the coming years. This poses a considerable challenge for the United States, as being the primary reserve currency has allowed for an exceptionally inflated standard of living. In this video, we will highlight 10 indicators suggesting the impending collapse of the US dollar. While the process of de-dollarization may not occur overnight, it is undoubtedly in progress, with the world gearing up for a future where the significance of the US dollar diminishes significantly. Before delving further, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more engaging videos like this one. Sign number 1. The BRICS group is undergoing significant expansion, having doubled in size. The original BRICS group, comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has seen a doubling of its membership this year. The new additions include Saudi Arabia, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, and Egypt. With this enlarged composition, the group now contributes to almost 37% of the world's GDP, as measured by purchasing power parity, surpassing the G7, which represents only 30%. Additionally, Russia has assumed the chairmanship of BRICS from South Africa this year. During a recent press conference, Russian President Vladimir Putin confirmed that 30 new countries have formally applied to join BRICS in 2024. While it's uncertain whether all 30 will be admitted, the continuous expansion of the BRICS bloc seems likely. With the growing expansion of the BRICS bloc, policymakers within BRICS nations are intensifying their endeavors to boost the worldwide adoption of non-dollar currencies, with a particular emphasis on the Chinese renminbi. Sign number 2, Brazil has called to ditch the US dollar. The president of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, has urged countries in the global south to consider abandoning the US dollar in favor of using their own currencies for international trade. Speaking from China, Lula questioned the necessity for all countries to rely on the dollar in trade, stating, "Every night I ask myself why all countries have to base their trade on the dollar. Why can't we do trade based on our own currencies? Who was it that decided that the dollar was the currency after the disappearance of the gold standard?" Brazil and China have taken steps to implement this vision by signing an agreement to conduct trade in their respective currencies, eliminating the need for the United States dollar as an intermediary. Notably, the yuan has surpassed the euro to become the second largest currency in Brazil's foreign reserves after the dollar. The accumulation of yuan foreign reserves in Brasilia is on the rise, gradually reducing the US dollar's share. Sign number 3, 10 ASEAN nations unite to move away from the US dollar. Finance ministers and central bank governors representing the 10 member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, have engaged in discussions about phasing out the US dollar, euro, yen, and British pound from their financial transactions. Instead, they are contemplating a shift towards settlements in their respective local currencies. The ASEAN member states include Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. Notably, the combined nominal GDP of the ASEAN bloc in 2023 is estimated to be around $3.9 trillion, according to IMF figures. ASEAN countries are talking about using the local currency transaction system to lessen reliance on Western currencies. This system, an expansion of a previous one, is being gradually introduced among ASEAN member states. It enables trade to happen in local currencies, providing more independence from Western monetary systems. Sign number 4, sanctions against Russia by the West have backfired. Despite almost 2 years of imposing the strictest sanctions, Moscow's economy and war efforts have not suffered as much as anticipated. The US, in its attempt, applied over 8,000 sanctions globally on individuals and companies, isolating Russia from the global financial market. However, these sanctions have proven unsuccessful. Russia's increased dedication of its national GDP to defense, expected to reach a record high of 6%, is evidence of this unexpected outcome. Additionally, the sanctions have accelerated the process of de-dollarization. Although Russia may face restrictions in using the US dollar for transactions, the use of the Russian ruble and China's yuan in trade between the two countries reached 95% in 2023. Furthermore, Russia has expanded its use of the yuan in trade with Mongolia, the Philippines, Malaysia, the United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Japan, Tajikistan, and Singapore. Sign number 5. Petrodollar faces threat. The inclusion of Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates in the BRICS group means that this alliance now represents a significant 43% of global crude oil production. Recently, Saudi Arabia, the world's leading oil exporter, and China, the largest energy consumer, signed a local currency swap agreement valued at 50 billion yuan or 26 billion Saudi riyals. This agreement fosters financial cooperation and promotes the use of local currencies, indicating a shift away from the US dollar. In a similar move, India and the United Arab Emirates have decided to abandon the dollar and settle their bilateral trade in rupees, aiming to reduce transaction costs associated with dollar conversions. Additionally, they have agreed to establish a real-time payment link to streamline cross-border money transfers. Iran has been using the yuan for trade settlements since as far back as 2010. Notably, China brokered a peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran last year, bolstering Chinese influence in the Middle East. Sign number 6. Yuan surpasses dollar in China's cross-border transactions. China achieved a significant milestone in its effort to decrease dependence on the dollar, with the yuan surpassing the greenback in cross-border transactions since March of the previous year. In the second quarter of 2023, the yuan accounted for 49% of China's cross-border transactions, marking the first time it has exceeded the dollar. Yuan payments increased by 11% year-on-year, reaching $1.51 trillion, while dollar payments experienced a 14% decline to $1.4 trillion. Although the yuan's share of global settlements is still relatively modest, it has been steadily rising in recent years due to Beijing's deliberate initiatives to promote its national currency. The Chinese government initiated the acceptance of yuan for trade payments in 2009, covering settlements for freight, services, and current account and capital transfers. Sign number 7. Argentina shifts to paying for Chinese imports in yuan instead of dollars. In April of the previous year, China and Argentina activated a swap line, allowing Argentina to utilize approximately $1.04 billion in yuan for settling payments on Chinese imports. 2 months later, this line was expanded to a maximum of $18 billion over the next 3 years. The Central Bank of Argentina stated that this extension increased the available amount for use from about $5 billion to nearly $10 billion. Additionally, Argentina further deepened its connection to the yuan by making a portion of a $2.7 billion debt payment to the International Monetary Fund in the Chinese currency. In June, the Central Bank of Argentina also announced that Argentines can now open savings and checking accounts denominated in yuan. Sign number 8. Bolivia joins Brazil and Argentina in adopting Chinese yuan for trade settlements. Bolivia, grappling with months of acute dollar shortages due to declining natural gas production, a crucial national export, has seen its net foreign currency reserves plummet to around $4 billion from a peak of $15 billion in 2014. This has strained state finances and posed a threat to Bolivia's long-standing currency peg with the dollar. In July 2023, Bolivia became the third South American nation, following Brazil and Argentina, to conduct transactions for imports and exports using the Chinese renminbi. Sign number 9. China-France energy trade settled in digital yuan. Chinese national oil companies CNOOC and French energy giant Engie achieved a yuan-settled liquefied natural gas trade through the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange. This follows the Shanghai government's push for digital yuan in international oil and gas trade, marking progress in cross-border yuan settlements. CNOOC previously executed China's first yuan-settled trade with French's Total Energies and Singapore's Pavilion Energy. The trend signals China's dedication to settling oil and gas trades in yuan, anticipating more in the future. Sign number 10. Dollar's dominance wanes and continues to erode globally. While the US dollar still holds sway in transactions, there is a noticeable trend of de-dollarization occurring in foreign exchange reserves. The greenback's influence is diminishing in oil markets, with more sales now conducted in non-dollar currencies, particularly the Chinese yuan. This indicates a strengthening role for the yuan as a reserve currency, signaling a broader shift in global power dynamics and potentially providing China with greater influence in shaping economic policies that impact us all. It's important to note that the US dollar currently remains the world's primary reserve currency, although its share in global central banks' official holdings has declined over the past 2 decades, from 72% in 2001 to just under 59% today. In contrast, the yuan's share of official holdings has more than doubled since 2016. In 2022, the Chinese yuan held the position of the 5th largest currency reserve globally, comprising approximately 2.6% of the total. Recently, SWIFT data reveals that the Chinese yuan has become the 4th most utilized currency in worldwide payments, surpassing the Japanese yen. Its market share has reached a record high of 4.61%, nearly double the levels observed last year. And these are the 10 unmistakable indicators that de-dollarization is underway, signaling a shift towards a multipolar global order where the dominance of the US dollar may diminish in the coming decades. What are your thoughts on this trend? Which currency do you believe is likely to replace the US dollar? Share your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by hitting the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content like this.